red day and let me be in your face with cameras. Being, very nice about it, but I have been putting a movie together with, interviews,
That's fantastic. There's some media gear over here.
He was awesome. I was like, can you cut the That was great.
Thank you for doing that. We will all look forward to that. I think we all snapped a couple pictures here and there, but I don't think any of us were quite as deliberate as
Yeah.
you were,
Yeah.
which is great, but
Yeah.
We love the Met Gala. That was amazing.
the balloons and the Met Gala was just too much fun. Yes. sir.
I want to say, I'm grateful for chemo sighting.
They're rare these days.
And my son just got back from Barcelona and he was here for 4 days and now he's in an internship in Birmingham.
I'm sure we're gonna love Birmingham. That's gonna be great. All right, moving on. Thank you guys for that. I know it's a little heavy, but it's a wonderful way for us to start our meeting. Knowing how much we all appreciate each other and how much of a family we really are. So love that. Thank you for lunch, Ruth at Forward with Caleb Baker. Did you guys want to come up and say a few words?
yes.
With their roofing, so.
Yes.
So, my name is Caleb. This is my friend Derek here, who also works with me. He's gonna kind of explain a little bit about what exactly we do. We also have 3 Starbucks gift cards that we're gonna give away today. So while he's kind of explaining, I'll go around. You can all drop your business card. Thank you. So after you finish talking, we'll do that giveaway and he'll kind of explain exactly what we do with working with realtors.
Sure. One gift card's mine, right? So I just want to introduce ourselves, or reintroduce ourselves if you already know us. We are Roof It Forward. We're a full service roofing contractor. We also do gutters. But we are very specialized in, especially my team, helping out realtors. And we've done a lot with Keller Williams over the years. It seems our businesses align and synergize very well. So to talk about us. Roof It Forward's been in business for about 20 years now. We're based in Woodstock, but we work all over the metro. We're a very mission-based organization, which is, so our name, Roof It Forward, we pay it forward to Camp Sunshine in Georgia, which is a children's cancer camp. We give a portion of all our proceeds to that. At night now, we've just hit over $500,000 donated to Camp Sunshine. Yeah.
But we're
About
$500,000.
$500,000.
Wow,
We'll hit $600,000 this year.
that's amazing.
So that's a big part of our business, but to talk about you guys, we just want to be a part of your tool bag, right? So anytime you go out and you're selling or you're buying, you're looking at a house, you see a problem, the inspection report comes back, you think it's an older roof, any of those issues, you can call Caleb, my man here, and he will walk you through that. So it might be a simple repair to a full replacement. But anywhere in between, we can help you with that process. So I know a lot of times as realtors, you see a lot of stuff on inspection reports, you see a lot of stuff during walkthroughs that you may not, fully understand. That's what we're here to help you with and serve you. We do it all free of charge. Just give us a call. We'll get out there. That's one thing we pride ourselves on with our realtors is we try to be there the same day or the next day. If he's backed up, he can call me. He can call one of the other guys on our teams. And we'll get out there right away to inspect the property, inspect the roof, and get you a solution right away. One thing that I do want to bring up, I know we don't have a lot of time, so I'll try to be brief, is we've seen a big shift in insurance lately as far as roofing goes. So
Can you
one,
explain that? What is the shift that you've seen?
so the shift that we've seen lately, over the past year, has been a lot of the insurance companies are requiring roof replacements for roofs over 15 to 20 years old. So a roof may,
12 years.
some 12 years, exactly, just depends on the company. But the roof may be in good shape, not leaking, maybe minor damage, but the insurance company is not going to cover it, after a certain age period. So what we've come across is somebody's buying a house, they go to get it insured once the closing is finished, and the insurance company won't insure it because of the roof age.
Oh,
So,
that's terrifying.
They're also doing a drone view or a Google map view.
Yeah.
And taking pictures and canceling people.
yes,
That's such a
So
switch
you
from
got
them.
2 weeks to replace your roof.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I've got a lot-
Like everybody to replace the roof with the hail damage and all
Yeah.
the, so we've switched all the way over to the other
yeah,
side.
exactly.
I have a lot of customers of mine who they've lived in their house for a long time, completely taking care of their house. And they're saying, all right, in the next 3 to 6 months, we're just gonna drop your coverage if you don't replace your roof on your own dollar.
I have not heard, I haven't heard anything about that.
Talk about it the next few minutes.
Okay, yeah, I think that would be great. Thank you for that.
Especially the big ones like Allstate, State Farm, they're sending those emails left and right. to people.
Thank you for telling us that. That's shocking.
And I bring that up in your shoes, what we've done in a lot of cases is if the roof has to be replaced because they can't get insured, we can write into our contract that we get paid at closing. So we can replace the roof, you guys can close normally, nobody has to put any money up front. And then at the closing table, we get paid. So that way it's all nice and seamless.
That's nice.
And it helps out a lot. Takes a lot of stress off of everyone. And then the other thing this is, cases can be differently, but if the roof is damaged while during the selling process and you know it's not gonna be, it's not gonna be covered later, we can come in and work with the previous, owner's insurance to possibly get it replaced if it has legit storm damage.
If the appraisal is not subject to roof replacement, you can also get the seller's side, not counting for contributions. Seller side to cut a check at closing to you for the roof replacement. So that the roof could be done after.
Yes, correct. Yes, yeah, either way. So anyways, all that to say, we just want to help you guys out. We want you to make more money. We want you to have, easier client interactions, buying and selling. So anything we can do to help you out, just give us a call and we'll be there. A lot of my realtors that call me, I've educated them over the years. They know exactly what a 3-tab is. They know what an Atlas Chalet is. They know what an architectural is. They know what storm damage looks like. They can look at a roof, they can call me and say, hey, Derek, I think this roof is 15 to 20 years old. Looks like it has a ton of wind damage. It's a 3-tab. Will you come and look at it? Or I'll send you the inspection reports and I can look at the inspection report and say, yes, no, maybe. And take care of something on the phone with them that day.
That's
So
amazing.
it helps them out a lot. And like I said, call my man Caleb here and he'll be on top of it for you.
Yes, I serve pretty much anywhere in Metro Atlanta. I mean, I go south, so it's really pretty much anywhere in Georgia where I serve.
Awesome. Thank you for that. That was. About the issues that were going on. A couple of people? Okay, good. Well, I'm glad you shared that with us. I was totally unaware.
And we'll be here after the meeting so you can ask some questions and if you need help with a specific
And you have a drawing.
line.
Yes, I'll do the drawing real quick for y'all. Let's see.
Thank you.
All right, Keith Joyner.
Feel like it.
Yes.
Nice to meet you. Right, and next we've got. This is Weem Ali. Last up, we have Mrs. Markia Watt.
I know, right? I see that, Marquis. That's amazing. You're amazing. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. Always something. I'm down laughing at Marquis. And thank you guys for lunch as well.
You're welcome.
All right, onward. Would you like to come upward? Sorry. It was bad. It was bad. Get on up
Good morning, everybody. What are the rates today?
7.12.
I guess we can actually get them at 6.99 for most people. Again, if they're a first-time home buyer and they're under one of the affordable loans, their PMI is lower and their rate's lower. So checking the current address where they live and checking the home when they buy are two different things. And we start with that, hoping they can get that 8,000 total. you know, but it may be even 3 or just a better rate, lower PMI.
Tell us about that 8,000, Kathy. How does that-
So Reds Fund is our product that we look at where they live now. Doesn't matter where they're gonna buy. We look at their current home address and it alerts us to know that they can get this money. So they can get $5,000, $500 for the appraisal, and depending on their sales price, up to 3,000 or 1% of the sales price. So we have had perfect situations where they got the whole 8. Sometimes it's maybe like yeah, it's got a little math doing it. We have Resource too. Just had a client that because of where he's buying, he's getting almost 5,000. As a good surprise, you know, when we lock it in, going, not only are you getting this rate, not only are you getting this lower PMI, you're getting almost $5,000 from us. It's not a repayable grant. It's just given as an asset at closing.
And is that for first-time home buyers only?
Yeah.
Actually,
Well,
yeah.
refund.
yeah,
You have to have at least one.
yeah, at
So
least
you've got
one
two
person
people
on the
who want at
loan
least
that's the
one
first time.
Okay.
First time
Got it.
buyer is someone that has not owned a home in 3 years. So they could have owned a home in the past, but not physically on a deed.
Did everybody know
of a
that?
home.
Mhm.
And it's not a mortgage. We actually, are you on the deed? Did you have this as your residence on the mortgage? Because sometimes it's, you know, husband and wife, one is owned, one's not. If they were on the deed, they own the home. Mortgage is not the calculation. It's,
And the
We on the
8,000 doesn't count towards concession.
Yeah,
So you can get
yeah.
max concession, 8,000, and you can get a client
Yeah.
into a property, say less than like 300,000 range, probably maybe 3 or 4 grand at closing.
Alicia, we were talking this morning, don't forget about assumable loans. If you're listing a home, find out if it's an FHA loan, find out if it's assumable, have your seller contact their servicer and see what the terms are. Now, sometimes there's a lot of money different between what they're selling the house for and what their mortgage is that the buyer would have to come up with. But there can be a combination of a second on some of them. Some of the VA, veteran to veteran, are assumable. If it's a divorce situation, even a conventional loan, most servicers will allow one of the spouses to assume it and let the other spouse go, but it's all total qualification. So don't forget about looking into that. And especially on divorce, before they get too far along, let us talk to them, especially if there's going to be alimony, child support, you know, selling of a home, because what the attorneys do is try to get them as much alimony as fast as possible. You know, we have to have a history and we have to have a 3-year continuance. So us getting involved before everything's negotiated, just having those upfront conversations, we might help. Especially coming to the mortgage side to get them ready. But the assumability, yeah, always check. Just always check. Because again, maybe no one will take it, but guess what? It's good advertising. And it's good on your part to have that one more step with the listing, with that seller going, oh, well, no one else that presented to be my listing agent even asked me that question. So it's a good thing to ask. And the other thing is the different areas, like I think it's 30076 and Sandy Springs, all the way down to like Clayton County so far is the 8,000. So another thing to check is in the area that you're selling, if someone else is buying in that area, can we see if the res fund is there also? So that you could advertise that. If you live in the zip code, you know, we can get you X amount of dollars.
Yeah, we can run the address before. We don't necessarily need an application. We just need to have a conversation, know their current address, and we can put it in the system.
Yeah, and if you're gonna be targeting apartments, we can put that address in to see if that apartment, if people living there have it. So we could do a co-branded campaign to do that.
Mhm.
Any questions?
Tell us about your class.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I forgot about that.
I know. But it's today, you guys, after this at 1:00, if you guys are free to come through, we can answer questions around mortgage. We'll go through an entire template and kind of give you some ideas and this is where our programs, minimum credit scores, qualifications, all of that good stuff. So also Zoom, I think we'll be able to have it on Zoom as well. So would love to have you guys come through and spend some time with us. All right, thank you
guys so
guys.
much.
Thank you.
All of you who are working with buyers, and I hear it all the time, they just can't afford to buy a house. Please talk to them before you and they both decide they can't afford a house.
Julie gave us a great suggestion,
Oh, goodness.
second opinion.
We're gonna play Twister at the next.
Yeah. Second opinion. So if you have someone, they've gone with Rocket Mortgage, they've gone wherever. I know. If you can ask them if they'd like a second opinion, we don't have to pull their credit. We could actually even pull a soft credit if we needed to, if there were questions about it. But we can give a second opinion. We can, again, try to add value, try to see if one of these, products that give them money is available. We're happy to do that. And we're gonna work on an incentive for that. I don't have that legally approved yet, but we might be giving them $100 gift card just to talk to them.
And they always need a second opinion anyway. They shouldn't just go with, if they've got their own mortgage person, they always need to get a second opinion. There they are. I mean, they're right here in our.
Yeah, they might not be their best self.
Yeah. Here in our, all right, thank you guys for that. Thank you. McMichael, there she is. I saw her running around there. Okay.
Good morning, everybody. So I'm Amy Smading with McMichael and Gray. And I just want to talk a little bit with y'all today about the Georgia withholding. So y'all should all have a sheet like this on your desk. This is actually the sheet that your sellers will sign at closing with us. Most law firms will have a very similar, if not the exact same form. So I just want to run through this with y'all. The last time I was up here, I asked y'all if y'all could tell me the percentages. I don't have a giveaway this time, but can anybody tell me what the percentages are for Georgia withholding and then also for the federal withholding for FERPTA?
3 and 10.
3 and 15. So yeah, it's 3% for Georgia withholding, and then FERPTA would be 15%. But today, I just want to talk about the Georgia withholding. So if y'all will take a look with me, the first section. So basically, when we have a contract, we send out our seller information forms for them to complete electronically. One of the questions on there is, are you a Georgia resident? If they mark yes, we leave it at that. They get to closing, they initial this, and I'll show you that in a second. They initial this and we call it a day. There's no withholding. If they put no on that form, that flags it to us when we get it back. And then at that point, either the attorney or the pre-closer is going to reach out and say, hey, we saw that you indicated that you were not a Georgia resident. I'm going to send you our form. You'll see it has a notary on the back. When they complete it before closing, they do not need to have it notarized. We just want this information so we know which one is going to apply and how much withholding, if any, that we need to do. So just want to let you know that as well. They don't have to have it notarized prior to closing because they actually sign it with myself if I'm doing the closing or whatever attorney. We're all notaries. So we just have this for information. But the way that we work down this is that first section, affidavit of seller's residence. You'll see a bunch of lines there. Oh, do this. So right in here, this is the first section. So at closing, I'm going to say, I'm either going to look at their driver's license, but I'm still going to ask them, are you a Georgia resident? If they indicate yes, they're going to initial this top line. There's no withholding. If they are not Georgia residents, they have to have all of these next ones right here apply in order for this first section to apply where they do not have withholding. So you'll see here, I'm not going to read through them. Non-resident filed tax returns, doing substantially the same business, but all of those have to apply in that top section for them to not have withholding. If none of those apply, we jump down to the next section. So that's the seller's certificate of exemption. In this section right here, my first and only question to them is going to be, was this your primary residence for 2 of the last 5 years? If they say yes, they initial the top one. And at that point, no withholding, we sign the back, we're done. There's a couple other ones. They're not super common, but there's one more at the bottom of page 1. And then on page 2, if you flip it over, if any of those other ones apply right here, they can initial that, no withholding. So we like to have them look through this, of course, before closing so that we know they're not sitting there at closing going, I've never seen this before. Last and the least common one is going to be this affidavit of seller's gain. So at this point, this is also a way we want to send it to them prior to closing. They're typically gonna want to get like a CPA or a tax advisor of some sort to walk through this with them. So they're going to put in their sales price, they're going to put their cost basis, so what they bought the property for, any improvements, all that kind of stuff. Things that they're going to want to gather prior to getting to closing. But at the end of the day, they're going to come down here to the net taxable gain line. Whatever number they put there, we times that by 3%. That's the withholding that we would do at closing. So for them, they're going to, of course, if they are not applying for those first 2 where they're a Georgia resident or it's primary residence, They're gonna wanna get that net taxable gain as low as possible. But that's why we send it out prior to closing. They send it back to us, not notarized. We get that number plugged on the settlement statement, so it's easy at closing. Do y'all have any questions on that? I know it's a lot, but I did want y'all to have a copy of it just because this is actually what your sellers would receive from us if they indicate they're not a Georgia resident. That way y'all can kind of give them a little bit of guidance or just tell them to call the attorney is really the best thing. They have questions on that.
Awesome.
Do
Thank you
y'all have
for
questions
that.
for me? Questions? Yes, and then one more thing, we have a CE class on May 23rd. It's the safety situational awareness. It's a really good class. It's free. It'll be right here from 10 to 1. We'll have some light snacks. So we'd love to see y'all there. Please use this QR code to get registered for it, just so we have correct number of head count if possible.
Thank you for that.
All right.
And these slides will be going out after the meeting and you can get the information from there.
Perfect.
That was wonderful. We love informational. Ms. Kelly is not here, and Dale is not here.
Oh, not here.
Nicole is not here. So all of you know, Up Equity is a fix it up before you pay for it type of situation, which is actually wonderful. If your buyer or your seller needs to do some improvements to their home prior to getting it sold, they can do this. And they do it through mortgage and everything. It's very creative. It's also very helpful if you have someone who's in a situation where they can't get their home up and going, but they need to sell it. So Miss Diane, here she is. Chandler.
Hi, I'm Chandler with Diane Endeavors, and I'm actually here to talk about something a little bit different this week. So we are teaching a class this Monday at 12:30. That is our mailbox mindshare class. And it is a class to help you guys utilize mail for your marketing so you can market yourself and your business to the best of your ability. I keep hearing this strange rumor go around that like mail is dead. And if you guys could keep it between like all of us in here, it's really not. So the class is taught by me, as well as our CEO, Jordan Anderson. Jordan has so much. She has years of experience working with a top 20 team over at Keller Williams North Atlanta as their operations manager. So not only does she have experience here at Diane Endeavors, but she has real life real estate experience implementing the strategies we will be teaching you guys on Monday. And then I do design for the most part, but I actually also have a background in not only real estate marketing, but print specifically, and then marketing as it relates to print. So I highly, highly recommend you guys come and check it out. I think it'll be a really informative class to all of you guys. So as always,
Chandler, where is it?
it will actually be here.
It's gonna be.
Yep, super easy to show up.
Is it on Zoom as well?
To my knowledge, it is not going to be on Zoom. So it is only in person that I'm aware. And so
I have a question. With all of the issues that we're having with mail and mail be lost and the distribution center just being a hot mess, have you noticed any delays on the mailing that you guys, I mean, have you had any feedback about that?
yes, so Georgia is actually going through as one of the few states that is doing a trial run of a new mail system in the United States. And so we are currently learning more about that in our area specifically with delays. And so we will make sure to address that in the class and how we currently at Diane Endeavor work around that system.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
I got a. What do you call those door things?
Door knockers.
Door hangers. Door hanger from a realtor from a different Keller Williams office. And her number was on it, but her name wasn't on it. Is that like a new bold trick, or did she just forget? Or it just said realtor. And
I think she forgot.
I think she forgot. And you know, when you print with somebody who's not,
We're not doing that, Susan.
no real estate agents, yeah.
We don't have that much mystery in our lives.
Wear my badge upside down and people come up to me in the store and I get to talk to them because my badge is upside down, but I don't need to. So I wondered if she wanted people to call her and ask her her name. I'm not.
No.
No, I would,
Not a bold trick anyone.
No.
no,
We're gonna
yes.
go, we're not gonna use that realtor because maybe she's not too precise.
Yeah,
Let her put it out there.
yes, definitely. And let it be said, if you're going with a printer who might be a little cheaper, but does have an expertise in real estate, they might just print it with a number. But yes, I always recommend putting your information everywhere. Plaster it on the front, plaster it on the back. If you can put it on the sides, we'll figure that out. So, but as always, if you guys have any questions, I always like to stay after and I'm happy to chit chat. Or if you have, again, questions about mail or just printing in general, like I am a little bit of a mail nerd. I know that sounds really weird, but if you get me started on printing, I am happy to answer anything about it. So.
You gotta put them here too.
So if I want to farm my neighborhood, do I give you the addresses or you guys like pull them from somewhere? Or how does that work?
So with our full service, we will actually pull addresses from you. So when we do full service with our mail, we're not just kind of being like, oh yeah, we'll like send it to the post office. It is from beginning to end. We will help you make sure you get that address list pulled, make sure the design is all set up to actually dropping it off either at the local post office or at our outgoing mail center.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, of course.
Here, tools to run your business. I'm actually, do you mind talking about?
Oh, sure.
Let me tell you why this has changed a little bit. We have, over the past couple weeks, had so many questions about renters. So many questions about renters, and I wish Liam were in here because we were talking about it this morning. I always take a rental. I will always take a rental because it's always gonna turn into something else. You give them the same service that you do with your buyers. Are you gonna make as much money? No, but you're gonna have a customer for life. But it takes a lot of time, right? Renters take a ton of time. So these are companies that are gonna be able to help you with finding them a place to live. The other thing I wanted to mention is, William and I were speaking and she's like, I get a lot of renters, but I just say no, because I really don't know how to do those contracts and get them into the computer and do all that stuff. So next week, we're going to, during team meeting, we're going to talk about what form do you need to use? And you do rental too, Juan. What form do we use when we're submitting a lease? Do we write the lease or does the listing agent write the lease? How do we pay on these things? Once we figure it all out, how do we put it into the computer? How does it go into command? So there are a lot of areas along the way where we can tend to get lost with the leases. Yes, ma'am.
I'd ask if you could go one step further.
Of course.
And talk to them about if you're listing. a rental.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. It is a whole different thing and we're gonna get into credit checks and all of that.
Oh, I
And
see it.
here's
I
something to
just
remember.
opened it.
Never
Mhm.
touch a credit check. All right? You need to be so far removed from those people's credit check.
Ryan.
that You're like in a
Hey.
different freaking state. Don't touch. We set up owner accounts on website and they are the ones that are looking and going through all the applications. Never get involved in saying yes or no on an application, or give an opinion. Don't do it.
Mm-mm.
Walk through the website, send the website, and we're gonna talk about all of this next week. Yep, we're gonna talk about all this next week. So I was super excited that Liam mentioned that, and then Alicia's gonna tell us a little bit about it.
I just wanted to talk a little bit about Divvy Land, Atlanta Land Trust and Georgia Community Affairs. I deal with a lot of individuals that may not have great credit, right? We deal with that, right? But considering that there are programs available for those that may have a 500 FICO or 550 FICO, or maybe even barely a 620, we can get them into a home based on these particular programs. So what does that do for you? It allows you to get a commission versus getting a renter's check. So I just wanted to put some more arsenal in your toolbox so that you are aware. Divvy has a rent-to-own program, so yeah, you're able to stay in that program for 3 years. They will take a portion of your income and then they set it aside for you. You have to qualify and you still have to put a down payment. But the thing is that once you find that home that you like, you're able to purchase it eventually within 3 years. Now, the thing about Divvy is that they have their own set supply of homes, and some of them are mediocre and some are great. So you have to be pretty careful with that. I have used them. They're very good at getting back to you, but they do a lot of texting. So it's hard to get them sometimes on the phone. Landis, I've actually closed with Landis. I actually like their program. they can, their FICO score is 550. They do require a down payment. They're based out of New York, so for them, the prices here in Georgia seem very reasonable. They are still a fairly new company, meaning there's a lot of kicks and nicks with them, like trying to get them to get back to you in time takes a little bit longer, so you have to continuously reach out to them. But they are very good. I have closed with them. I put a buyer who had gone through a divorce situation. They sold their house. They weren't sure where they wanted to live. We went through Divvy and also Landis, but Divvy was able to find them, give them an opportunity to purchase a house that they wanted to, which is different from Divvy, because Divvy, you have to use their supply. Landis, you can find a home anywhere. And then once the home qualifies, Landis buys the home, the tenant goes into the house, the tenant stays there for 2 years to 3 years max, and then they can then eventually purchase a home. But I got a commission check, so that it was better than putting them into a rental. And then you do have to qualify for all of these. So it's pretty easy to go online. It's normally a video or something that you're going to be doing, and then you're certified in their programs. The other one, Atlanta Trust, is very good. There are actually Atlanta Trust specialist loan officers that take the time, and they do have a class. So you do have to take the class, sit through it online. It was on Zoom the last time I did it. Sit through it online, and then they have particular neighborhoods in which you can buy. Okay, does anybody have any questions on any of these?
Thank you. Well, good information, really good information. Guess what? It's happening on Thursday. Cynthia's texting.
I'm teaching a class.
Cynthia, would you like to come up or stand up or tell us a little bit about your class?
So I am teaching the buyer consultation class. The PowerPoint is Diana Costas, and I shared that presentation with you guys, so if not for anything, come for that. But it tells you everything. It basically answers the questions of, you know, what the buyers might have, and especially, I mean, I usually use it if it's first-time home buyer, but really, if they've already bought and they bought a while back, things have changed, and especially what we have coming up with the commission, what are they discussing? Because you gotta let them know, hey, if the seller's not covering, you might have to cover it. Let's talk about what we can do about this. So it's good to set expectations, and this is the best way. Honestly, every time I'm in a hurry and don't do it, where I'm like, yeah, I'll show you the house. They send me the pre-qualification, and then I go show the house, and I end up with asking more than they should have, when that would have been covered on the buyer presentation. So this come, like I said, I'll share the presentation and answer any questions or anything. I mean, it's always very, like, it goes with whatever the students in the classroom, you know.
So this could be for new agents.
Yeah.
It could be for experienced agents. It
Yeah,
could be for
'cause we
everybody.
mastermind of what we do too, like if anything changes, that somebody else is doing something that works better. And if you speak Spanish, I also have the presentation in Spanish, so I do that one too. Yeah.
Love it. Any questions for Cynthia? Y'all need to be in these classes. We are going over and above to try to get you guys prepared for
July the 1st.
Yeah, I don't know if the whole lot's gonna happen, but it's better to be prepared than to not be prepared. So
I
everybody.
want to say one more thing. I'm sorry, I'm interjecting so much, but as your ALC, we put these classes together for everyone to show up for these new agents, seasoned agents, whatever. Nothing is worse when we're giving a presentation and it's us and an owl. It's like dogs talking to you. It scares the hell out of you half the time. I can't see what people are texting. And just really appreciate, okay, the personal, we really do appreciate you guys coming in. We're all taking time out of a schedule to pour into you, so we would appreciate you guys coming on it.
Yeah, and it's for your benefit. I mean, how much more can you not learn in the class, right? So we're here to teach and give you the knowledge, and then you share with us as well.
Because nothing is worse when you get your first deal and you don't know.
And you
what the
have
heck
no what to do.
Because you haven't prioritized it.
And that is true, because we do get a lot of phone calls with all of our agents, actually. And not new ones, not experienced, all the agents, and they're lost and they don't know what to do. Number one, that's what we're here for. Call us and we'll help you through it. But number two, wouldn't it be best if next time you don't have to pick up the phone and call anybody, you can just do it on your own. So take the classes if
One
you
more
are
thing
available.
related
Yes,
to that. if you guys have also a client, they're like, you know what, I'm out of town, blah, blah, like I'd like to meet. You can do it through Zoom, share that presentation.
Yeah.
And you've already know by then, it's so much easier. This whole thing when COVID, that's what I was doing, and I swear, I don't need the presentation. I know what I need to say, how I need to say it, but like, you have it. You can study what you need to do and then just know what you need to say.
And it's always nice to send, if you have a digital presentation, before you get there, just send that puppy on over. Then when you walk in the door, you could show me your house. Let's talk about fun things. Let's make you comfortable so I can get this listing. Did you get the presentation that I sent? We'll go over that in a minute. But you can guarantee they've already got it. They've already read it. They know every word of that presentation. So Friday is a big day. We're gonna have somebody from O'Kelly. Oh, I spelled and wrong. Look at that. O'Kelly Adsoran. It may be Joe O'Kelly. I don't know. But we wanted to get somebody extremely qualified to come in and talk to you about that. Fiona and I were both like, nope, we're not touching it. So Seth did his meeting, I think it was last Friday, and now it was amazing.
You missed, if you ever get to listen to Seth Wiseman, who is the
Take advantage of it.
that wrote the contract.
He didn't.
And
Wrote the red
there's
book.
a new one, just to tag on to that, Julie. as
Yes,
well.
please.
The new contracts with changes are printed June the 1st.
That'll be an eventful summer.
Yeah, so we're gonna have that, and he kept on ramming home. You've gotta be in classes to learn what the changes are, because although there are not that many, they are huge. Clearly because of what else is going on down the pike. If you're not learning how to read these contracts, then as much as
You're gonna fall
Julie
behind.
says, you know, we can only help so much, but you're gonna start losing people's earnest money. Because, and then it's gonna be out your next commission, and we can't help with that. So you gotta learn these new contracts, and he was really, he must have said every half hour. You gotta learn, okay, so we're gonna get Melba to come and do it, that, already asked her.
Well, actually, this guy is also, this is on Friday. Oh, you're talking about changes in the contracts.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
goodness. Okay, I was like,
And then they'll be out for everybody and their mother to use.
and it's funny because the contracts changed last year. And I'd forgotten that the contracts had changed, and somebody called and asked me a question. I was like, nope, I know exactly what the answer is. It's this.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm trying to tell her, you check this box. And she's like, that box isn't there. I was like, yeah. Yeah. And then I did the text and the parents like, and then I did what I tell all of y'all to do before you call, read the document. And so I read the one, I was like, yeah, there's no box there. And they changed it last year. So, and it was a big change and I totally missed it. So, but back to NAR, if you guys can be here on Friday, this is gonna help you so much because this is gonna be this is what happened, this is why it happened, this is how it's gonna affect you, this is how you're gonna present it to your buyers and your sellers. They're gonna cover all of that. So if you can be here, fantastic. If you are interested in being an Ignite instructor, Monday, May the 12th, Melba will be here. 20th.
Okay, it's okay, it's okay.
We're going back to the. No, I'm totally flustered. Okay, Monday, May the 20th, should be here. This is not guaranteeing that you are going to be an Ignite instructor. This is hey, are you interested in being an Ignite instructor? Let me tell you what happens. So Melba will be here for that. Andy Peters is teaching Level Up Your Business, May 29th from 12 to 1. This will be virtual.
How are we gonna sell houses in May with all these different things?
You know what? Hammer y'all with class. So,
And you start listening, so
fit it around your business. Business first. These are actually the quality of our classes. It's what you need. It's when you need it. It's addressing current current things in the marketplace. So, but he is virtual. There's gonna be a virtual meeting and you can get to that. All right. Everybody knows who Mo Anderson is. Mo Anderson is the chairperson of KW Cares. She is turning 87. I know, right? And she's still going strong, y'all. She's not even close to retiring, but what she has asked for her birthday is that we all donate to KW Cares. each market center is entrusted with raising $870, I think, 'cause she's 87. If we can raise more, that's great, but I would love to at least get us to around that $900 mark so that, you know, we do things that all the other market centers are doing. South Carolina's already raised like $8,000. Y'all know Jordana's office has probably raised $1 million by now. So I would like for us to at least hit 900 if we can do that. So, this is the QR code right here. If you scan this, it will take you directly to a page that will give you more information. So if y'all can just keep that in mind, that would be great.
Mo Anderson was Gary Keller's second hire. Mo Anderson is the one that came up with Red Day, because we do it on her birthday. She's a pretty cool bean. If you don't know who she is, she's got a great book out as well. It's really moving. She came from absolutely nothing. And yeah, she's a pretty cool bean.
She is a cool woman, and I think it's nifty that that's what she's asked us all to do for her birthday. Because I know she's making flowers and gifts and all the stuff, and all she wants is a contribution. So if we can hit 900, I would be ridiculously grateful. If y'all can welcome Miss Alicia Lawton. All the things she's been watching.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk a little bit about our market update. I didn't want to get too in the weeds, and that's because, excuse me, I did want to go into Chartmasters at least so that you guys can have an understanding of how to use Chartmasters, or at least a part of it. But the good thing, according to this, what are you guys seeing? What are you seeing that would be a good thing?
Pending.
Pending. Notice that?
More homes.
More homes.
More 3 point.
There we go. We got more homes, the active listings, pending. Anything else?
Rates went down.
Rates gone down. Okay. And the number of closings. So there we go. There's some positivity going on. I like to stay on a positive note. Okay? So we're gonna talk a little bit about Chartmasters. We used to be able to go into Chartmasters to actually pull it up, but now Raven sends the Chartmasters slides to you when they are delivered.
So no excuses.
No excuse. And
That's
then
what she's saying.
this is the other thing that's really good. Most sellers are getting 100% of their asking price. The average days on the market is about a month, a little over a month. We have about 2.5, well, 2.9 days of months of supply, and then the average price point is 531. So that's gone up, which means you can cap a lot sooner, right? That's a good thing. And then the interest rate, okay? So let's see. Okay, so she's gonna click in there. This is a slide that you normally get when you are going into Chartmasters. And how do you actually use this slide? Where it says total up here, you have a little icon, you can click on it, and then it'll say what category or what area you want. So you want to click on, we're gonna find Roswell, just click on Roswell, save.
No, it's bullshit. There's Roswell.
Roswell, okay. And then it says price range. So we know that the average price is about 531. So let's look at a price range between 5 and 6. There we go. So what that will do is that will reorganize all of the slides, and they're actually down here, down the bottom, where you can get to the various slides that are here. So just click on one of them. Thank you. Oh, no.
And it might just be because we pulled it over into Google Slides and this is in Excel.
Okay.
Right. But it does populate.
Yeah, it does, it does populate. How do you go?
Here, let me see if I can grab it. Never mind.
out of it.
Yeah, get out of it. And normally, what I do is when I'm meeting with a client, depending on if it's a buyer or a seller, like if I have to submit an offer and my seller wants to go lower than the prices that are average, I will send them this slide so that they can actually see, hey, this is where you want to be in terms of your pricing. So I'm not telling them, but I am giving them a strong suggestion of where they may want to price the house. But it's not based on my opinion, it's based on the numbers. So that is also something that you want to continue to do. And then for my listing, depending on where I think the house should be, I will send this over to them to say, hey, if we price it in 500, and I think it should be 485, it may stay on the market a little longer, which means you may or may not get the price that you want. That's not working? Oh.
And I just want to show you guys, because we get questions about this a lot. If you can't edit the charts, you might have downloaded the PDF. You have to download the PowerPoint to edit it.
Or the Excel test as well. And highly suggest that you go in here and play around with it.
So this is what they receive from you every month?
Yeah.
The slide deck? Okay,
And
perfect.
so like here, and then they're color coded, so the green says that this is better, green says that it's better, the pink will say it's worse, and then the white says it's not significant. So let's, for example, take a price range of 500 to 590. Days on market, it's worse than this year than it was last year. The price reduction, it's okay, it's a little better with the sale price to list price because it's 0.3, so that's actually a plus. You guys get how that's working?
Yes.
If you have any questions, I don't want to overwhelm you. I just wanted to give you some helpful information on how to utilize that. And you can plug it into your own PowerPoint or buyer and seller presentations, because I plug this slide in and I use the slide when I'm doing the presentation, be it a listing or a sale. I will plug the actual slides from here. I'll copy it and paste it into my presentation so that I'm presenting it to the buyers and sellers as well.
And it has the instructions for you right there to double clicking to get to it and how to edit it. So it has it right at the bottom, right there.
Yeah.
Awesome. And also, thank you, Alicia. Andy and Leslie do chart masters presentation once a month. I think it's once a month. So if you have a chance to go to that, they will explain this thoroughly to you, and you will see even more ways that you can use it when you're interacting with your buyers and your sellers. Once a quarter. Okay.
We're in this together.
We're in it. Thank you, Heather. Thank you for having me back. Wow, y'all, this is gonna be so much fun. We're gonna talk about special stipulations. Why are we talking about special stipulations? Because I have seen some really cruddy special stipulations written by other agents, not by our KW agents. But I've seen some really horrible special steps. Does anybody know what a special stipulation is?
Definition.
It's an illegal thing you add into the contracts. Requests answered or.
We have to smirk this. I love it. This is where you're special.
Yeah, and go to FJ for the wording.
Trying to do the quote P and all the rest of it.
And don't get Shakespeare with it, y'all. Basically, we all need to get a little Shakespeare with our special steps. Aforementioned hereby. Yeah, okay. So special stipulation is something that you add to the contract that is actually changing something in the contract. Special, here it is, special stipulation is specific instruction written in a contract that is unique to the buyer and the seller. It is not a place to reiterate what is already in the contract. Y'all do not rewrite the contracts. Amen. All parties agree that the closing date will be blocked. It's all
Yeah, we've already taken out next one.
So we don't want to rewrite. This is for things that are gonna be different than the contract. In the GAR purchase and sale agreement, if there is a conflict between the special stipulation and any exhibit, addendum, or preceding paragraph, the special stipulation controls. Special steps always control. They trump.
And what a day is, not special steps.
It what?
That's why I define what a day is.
Thank you. And I mean, yes, because there could be some confusion
Yes.
with that. So that's a good point out. Okay. The rules for writing special steps are very simple, very simple. Include the critical elements and you will have written a solid special step. Okay. What are the critical elements? Who, what, where, when, how, cost, consequences if not fulfilled. If you have all of these things in your special step, you cannot screw up your special step unless you are unable to determine who, what, where, why, when, and how, which I know everybody in here is capable of doing. So when we write a special step, have this little piece of paper off the side, read your special step. Okay, did I address who? Did I address what? Did I address where? Details, specifics, dates, amounts, actions required by specific parties. Those are things that can be in your special step. Example of specificity. Never write to the buyer's satisfaction. Can you tell me why?
But you're not the same in the snap. What does that mean?
It's not measurable. It's not measurable. You could have the best job in the world that was done, the buyer was like, no, that's not what I had in mind. You've got to be very, and you know it happened, because it's happened to all of us. You've got to be very, very clear on that. Never write. Does everybody know what TBD means? To be determined. Do not put this in your contracts, all right? Do not put TBD. Actual cost. Actual cost of what? You know, what is an actual cost? Negotiable, no. Hell no. We've already negotiated everything in the contract. The last thing we want to do is introduce more negotiations, y'all. We're trying to be here and get to the closing table. I thought this was a good one. Never request anything. Buyer requests that the seller leave the swing set in the backyard. No, seller to leave swing set. That's it. That's no cost. At no cost to buyer, all right? Down and dirty to the point. Here is an example of a poorly written special stipulation, all right? Seller to replace all the carpet in home with new tan carpet to the existing carpet. All right, can y'all see the disasters just waiting to happen with this? Did we cover a few things? We did. Who?
No.
What?
Carpet.
Where?
All of them.
But we left out some pretty big things. Here we go. This one is super, super detailed. Y'all are probably thinking, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, you are, because this is the way that we're gonna get your contracts through, okay? Seller agrees to replace. Let me see if I have that. I like this one better. Seller, who agrees to replace at seller's full expense, cost, all of the carpet and pad in the entire house, where, with new carpet, what? 3 days prior to the closing date, when set forth herein. Then it goes through and it describes exactly the type of carpet, exactly the type of pad, so that nobody has any questions. It also goes so far as to mention who is going to be replacing the carpet. All right. The consequences, if it is not fulfilled, if seller fails to comply, pretty intense there. $5,000 shall automatically be deducted from the seller's net proceeds at closing and held in escrow with the closing attorney. Made payable to Quick Carpet Inc. Those are the consequences if not fulfilled. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
Who, what, when, where, how, cost, all the things, okay? We're gonna do one more real, I guess we're not gonna do one more real fast. One of the cool things about being a member of a board here in Georgia is that you have access to GAR, the Georgia Association of Realtors. If you go on GAR, there's gonna be a little tab that says downloadable forms, okay? All you have to do is type in your NERDS number and you have access to every single form that the GAR puts out there. Super cool, because you can just print it out fast. You don't have to, get into software and all, just go print the form right off the internet. There is an entire group of special stipulations already written for you on the GAR website. They are there. They are common special stipulations that we use. There's an appraisal step. There's an escalation clause step. All of them are on there. So if you are in a bind, you can always go and look and see if there is already a pre-written special stipulation for you. If not, do your best, give us a call and we will go through it, make sure that you have all the important elements. Yes, that's Jen.
And remind, there's also the special steps.
You signed to.
There's like 300 and something of them.
Yes.
If you don't know what you're looking for, at least just put one keyword in.
Yeah.
And it'll come down to like SS 304, because there's a lot that have already been written, and then all you do is copy and paste them, and you don't have to pretend to be a lawyer because they've been written by Seth, who is a lawyer.
Who is the lawyer? Yes, ma'am.
The other thing that I do, because, they repeat, it's not the same situation every time.
No.
We can adjust something. I save it on my notes,
I
and
do
I
that.
was looking
I
at
do that.
that, and I have like I just go and copy and paste and search on my thing and say, oh yeah, I have that one. I just need to change the number that is contributing, whatever it is, and it's, save your spot.
I do that as well in my notes section on my phone. I get a lot of calls over the weekend, and y'all know on the weekends, I'm sitting on a horse out in the woods somewhere. So when somebody calls and says, I need your clause, I'm like, "What?" And I was like, wait a minute, I've got it on my phone. And I can pull it up on my phone, copy and paste it and send it to them. So the ones that are a little bit more complicated, like the escalation clause, I keep them on my phone. So, but if you have any questions, you give us a call and we will help you through it, because it's better to call at the front end than to try to qualify what is suitable to the buyer on the back end, because it's never gonna. So, all you're doing when you don't, when you put something in there is giving them another way to get out of the contract. And we don't want to do that. So I think that is it. We kept it to 12. You cannot fail if you resolutely determine that you will not give up. Yep, so there you go. Let's all resolutely determine that we will not give up. The market is continuing to improve. We're seeing more and more contracts come in, and you guys are killing it. So just keep doing that and have a wonderful week. Call us if you need anything at all. Good job, guys. Good job. Yes, thank you guys for being out here.